Hey. Right, so I've got about an hour and 20 to attempt to design a nuclear power plant. Cheers. Boris Johnson became Prime Minister today. We shall eat, drink and be merry, and tomorrow maybe survive. So, if you're following along, I'm doing a series at the moment. Oh, I'm really dark, just a moment. That's better. That's a little less goth. If you're following along, I'm doing a series at the moment in a water world. And the water world has almost no resources. It certainly doesn't have the wherewithal to be able to put down lots of solar. The world is gridded out into these 3x3 blocks. So, if you don't know, Factorio, being a computer game, partitions its world into squares. So a belt or a burner. So a burner is 2x2. A piece of belt is 1x1, you can see. And then all the items come in multiples of squares. Then the game then groups together squares into grids. And items like radars, where are we? Radars. If you've ever noticed that radars, you can put them down in lots of places and get the same coverage, it's because they're within a grid. If we go over the grid, they now have a different area they cover. Okay, you can see it in the mini-map, hopefully. There's a yellow shade, which is where the radar is going to reveal. I move it over the border, and the box shading where the radar will see moves. Okay, and it's all done by grid. So the game's engine computes what's happening in each grid. So my rail world is aligned to the grid, and each cell within the rail world is 3x3 grid. So because I have almost no power in my world and very little resources to make power, I'm going to have to use nuclear. And I have never done nuclear power before. So I thought I would try and design a nuclear power station that fits within 3x3 tiles. I've no idea if this is possible, but I'll give it a go. Okay, so the first thing we need to do is get hold of some nuclear power plants. Where are they? Centrifuges, labs, chemical plants, blah. We'll need some turbines, heat exchangers and heat pipes. Oh, there they are, nuclear reactors. Great. And I think the traditional thing is to put down 4 of them. So they get bonuses when they touch each other. A single nuclear reactor I'm trying to find the thing that tells you what it produces. Anyway, a single nuclear reactor produces however much energy it does. For every neighbor you add on, you get an extra 1 of that. So this produces 1, 2, 3 worth of power because it's got itself and then 2 neighbors. So each of these produce 3. So this is the equivalent of 12 reactors as 4. Now, it would be really nice to totally surround a reactor. That would give you maximum bonuses. The problem is then, without using bulbs, arms or something, there's no way to get fuel into it. So the best you can do is a 2x(n) arrangement. However, I want something small because I have to fit it within this grid. And anyway, I think I think because of the pipework involved, this might be the most efficient way to build in any case. So it's not most efficient for energy production, but I think it's most efficient for the game. Okay, we'll probably need some pipes, underground pipes. Let's put these in here. Belt. Okay, what else am I missing? Well, we'll discover. All right, so the first thing we need to be able to do with nukes is feed them. Okay. We also need to be able to put out spent fuel. Okay, now normally this kind of build I would immediately decide that this is a robot build because there's almost no material. The fuel cells are used very rarely. But I don't have logistics bots unlocked in my playthrough. Alright, so that's the basics. That's one way to do it. The other way to do it is to have a belt coming in to split that belt. Take one over there. Do the same here. So this belt would be bringing in fuel cells. Then we would take out a belt and then run it through a splitter. So the idea would be we would bring in fuel cells here. Let's take that out. Okay, we need some undergrounds. So I'm just mocking this up. We may end up moving this in a minute. All right. So this, let's get a creative mode matter source. Right, this is going to produce fuel cells. There. Right, that comes down here. Then we want this to always go on the inside. What's the best way to make sure that something always goes on the inside of two belts? There. Yeah, that's always on the inside. That's good. Then this needs to filter for spent fuel cells. That's it. Brilliant. And then the standard fuel cells are stuck there. Okay. The next thing we need to do so let's assume these come out the opposite side. Okay, and then for now we'll put these into a matter void. So this just consumed, well, it's a fluid void. Matter void. So that would just consume what's ever on the belt. Okay. So we could potentially power this up. So apparently, for a 4 reactor ratio, Factorio cheat sheet. Let's see if that has it. Right, nuclear power. So I need 4 reactors, 48 of the red thingies, 84 of the turbines. So 48 of these. All right. So 48 divided by 8 is what I'm looking for. 8, 16, 24, 32, 40, 48. That's 6. 6 lots of 8. Great. So that's one of them. 8, 16. 32. Check I've actually counted that right. Yeah, that is 32. So 48 would be a third one of these. Okay, that doesn't look like very much. Let's put it there for now, just so we've got it counted. All right. Is there another way to do this? So 48 divided by 4 is 12. Half of 12 is 6. Okay, so I think that is 48. Yeah. Okay, then for each of those, so we would need 84 turbines in total if everything was to ratio. 84 is less than 96. And that doesn't ratio out very well. So let's look at the stats for this. All right, energy consumption 10 megawatt. Exchanges heat between a heat source and a fluid. I want to stick it into one of those. Maximum power output 5.8. Consumes 10, puts out 5.8. So 2 of those is overkill. So how on earth do we... Because the simplest thing is to do that, right? But then for each of these, we have a 0.12 worth of overkill. All right. So I could do that. But this is going to give me massively too many. So 1, 2. Let's put them here and here. Okay, let's delete these out. Right, I'm going to put in something to stop the flashing because it's driving me upset. Passive energy source. And Super substation. Okay. Sorted. We'll delete those in a minute once we have actual power. Right, so that's what I could do. I need 84 turbines, and this has 92. 84 to 92 is 8. So I have 8 too many turbines. Now, the question I have to ask myself is, do I care? Do I just run 8 turbines that aren't outputting power? Because although I'm sacrificing too many turbines for the number of boilers, there is no extra piping here. There are no underground pipes, there's no pipes. Basically, there is no pipes. And that makes it quite an efficient build. I'm not going to bother with inserter clocking or boxes or anything like that. I'm not going to try and limit the amount of fuel that goes in. These will just burn because whenever my power is short, I will add these. And if I need to store power, I will find islands and I will stack them full of capacitors. I know it's not the most efficient way to store steam, but it is a reliable way. So, the other way to do it this is to... Right, what is 84 divided by 4? 21. Right, so this is 24. I actually only need 21 of these. And in fact, I need 22 of them. So the alternative to doing this... Sorry, I need 21, but the alternative to doing this would be to take off those 2. And basically do that. Then this turbine bleeds through and gives enough steam for the others to run. Okay. So I think we should try both of these. Okay, so that's the second build. Now the cost of this is a UPS cost because we now have a pipe. We have loads of pipe segments, whereas here we have no pipe segments. Okay, the other way to do this is... that. Okay, so we are exactly 1 boiler over on this build. That. So these are the 3 options. So I can have 4 of these, which have absolutely nothing clever. I can do 4 of these, which have, I'm saving one turbine, I keep saying boiler, 1 turbine, at the cost of putting pipes in the middle. Or one turbine putting pipes on the end. I have a feeling that this will be the most UPS efficient, followed by this, followed by this. But that's just my feeling. Well, the other take home is this clearly fits within a single block. Try again. So we should probably make a couple of these just to wire them all up. Okay, how else could this be done? Okay, so I'm going to copy the whole of this, and we are going to make two versions of it. Let's come over here. All right, trees and rocks be gone. And just in case there's any shonkiness with grids or anything, I'm going to align this to the grid. Okay, this is going to be the vanilla version. So this is just going to be these. Now, I understand you need heat pipes to join everything together. So we will... And I don't know if there are issues with flow rates of heat in the heat pipes. We need to fit 4 of these around this. I believe heat pipe flows here. This is sort of free heat pipe joining the reactors together. This is clearly bigger than this arrangement. All right, so let's get rid of that and both of these because we've got a copy of them elsewhere on the map. All right, pick that up. All right, so we need 2 of these with at least a tile in between them. So that could be there. And there. Okay, so then this heat pipe needs to join in to the reactors. And where could it join in? There. Except if it's there, how do I get the belt around? Okay, so we have some practicalities to deal with here. The other thing I'm not sure about is the capacity of these heat pipes to carry pipe. Okay. Okay, let's try again. So, there to there. Excuse me for having the grid still turned on. I'll turn it off in a minute. All right, so this is powered up. Yep. Take away that. Ah, okay, so we need power poles to get this whole thing joined up. All right, so let's do that. Okay, that's a good start. Let's... Oh, there's no power being generated yet. Okay, so Okay. So we need some way to get power in. This may be one of these things that means that one build is more appropriate than the other. How if we were using substations? How would that work out? That would actually work out really well. Okay. So let's get the substations going. Alright. So that's down the middle. There we go. Then we need some kind of substation coverage down the sides also. Alright, let's take that. Okay, then don't know, to be honest. I'm just sort of bluffing this one out. All right. So that's power, and then we will need water. Okay. And for now I'm going to fake in a water line, but in the real thing we'd use offshore pumps, which is not a problem because we're building on water. So fluid source. Water. There we go. These are generating steam. Let's look on the map. Let's put on power. Yep, they're doing something. All right, then there's a creative mode thing, which is a power void. Nullifies energy in the network, making other entities be non-functional. No. Passive energy void. Constantly absorbs excess energy. So this is like a vampire. It will suck the power out and make everything work at top speed. All right. So I'll head down here. I've got no radars. So I want to take this out because I want to make sure the only thing doing power on my build is this. Alright, so how is this doing? So the heat here is over 500, 490, 497. Only these are working at the moment. Okay, so this says I wish I had squeak through. Right, so these steam engines, performance blah. 1, 2, 3, 4 of these are up to full steam. Okay. Let's click on a power cable. So 510 megawatts. Is that right? I'm producing 505 from the steam turbines, apparently. Uh, 498. Okay, I'm not quite sure what's going on here. I think maybe we have to run it a little while to get it to burn in. Okay, so I'm not sure if this is because there is insufficient steam or insufficient water. So these must have enough water because they're closest to the pump. Yeah, we have water all the way. We have heat not making it to the end. Right, and let's double check. So we have we have 192 turbines and 196. So we have double the build we need. So is this 9648? That's the entire build we need. So I've made double the build. All right. So in that case, get rid of this entirely. Okay. All right. In that case, I just need one of these above and one of these below, don't I? Okay. So, let's take one of these. Just take that. The nullifier, the vamp. I will need an underground to go from here to here. There we are. Okay. So I'm going to do the same thing at the top, basically. Let's take that away. And that. I do like the improvements to fast replace, where it only replaces undergrounds if you explicitly click on them, rather than just when you run over them. Alright, so this here, let's take the whole of it, flip it up and over. There. There we are. So this nullifier is in place. Yeah. So let's check the heat for these. So we have 600, 600, 600, 600. That's all good. Bonuses of 200, so it's producing 300 times what it would. Okay, this is not hot yet. That's not even near hot. Okay, so let's click on one of these. Okay, we've got 96 of these now, which is much better. Okay, so this should be rising. I think these steps are possibly as the various turbines are coming online. Okay, so this is just the boring thing of watching charts. And I want it to hit 480. It seems to still be going up as you can see these bumps, and they're presumably as the different turbines are coming online. So it's still working. We've nearly broken 400. Okay, so this is a really compact small design. Almost no moving parts, nothing to go wrong. We just happen to have a bunch of excess turbines. And I can imagine building 2 of these side by side. That would probably work fine, actually, within a single cell to rack up 2 or 3 of these. Right. How are we doing? 427. Apparently it should reach 480. If not, then we have an issue with heat pipes or water flow or something like that. Okay, we may have hit a plateau at 440. So 440 most definitely is not 480. $41. Oh, it's back up again. Okay, while we're doing this, let's take essentially this design, because we know it's the thing. I'm going to delete this. Alright, I'm going to put this back on. Cool. And we are going to use a slightly different design. Take the whole of this. Okay. Let's copy that. Delete this. Put that back. There we go. Okay, so we now need to boost this to get it running. And these have to get up to 500 degrees to take over. Let's get rid of this. I'll take the boost away in a minute. So if we head back up here, this has now been running for a little while, and it's producing 470, which is 10 shy. Okay. This is all up to 500. And there's some production happening here. Let's head up here. This is producing something. So I think the end ones are underproducing. I think we're at the limit of what the heat pipe carries. Okay. So this has 92. I'm aiming for 84. Okay, so that's 88. And that is 84. All right. So this, that is slowly getting up towards 480. So I've got faith that will eventually reach 480. This, on the other hand, what's going on? Okay, so this has only just reached 500. All right. At the moment, the power production is all coming from here. Okay, so now this is going to have to be self-reliant. Okay, so let's put the passage at. Put that in. Yep. So now this will have to start producing power. Now the thing I'm not sure is this has basically two sides of turbines. I'm not sure if I should do it that way or if I should have 4 smaller sides of turbines. But I've got a feeling that 4 smaller ones, I can't actually balance out the presence and the absences well, because we've got 3s here, and 3 doesn't divide into 4. Not without a hammer. Right. So this 478, which is as near as damn it to 480. Right. By the time you've had misfires with inserting fuel cells and all the other excitements that can happen in a real-world system, I'm calling that good. So this very naive design works. And how's this doing? Still heading upwards. Because the next thing to try is basically to make a world that has like 50 of this design and 50 of this design, and we see which world does the best frames per second. And I have another half hour before Newsnight, where I get to catch up on the soap opera, which is British politics currently. So let's see if we can get to there by then. Right, this is up to 400. Still climbing. Okay. Right, so just in case you're confused, if we look on the map, here we are. So the blue lines are electrical power cables, and those of you who care about such things are probably having an aneurysm over the wobbliness of them. That's fine. That's totally up to you if you wish to get bent out of shape about that. It's not going to worry me, but I know it worries people. These ones do not connect to these ones. Okay, so this is a separate electrical system from this one. So that means when I click on this to see its electricity network info, it's the network for this reactor. I would have to run up here and click on this entirely different electrical network to see the power produced by this, which is 479, which is frustratingly not 480. All right, so lots of these appear to have steam coming out now. So I want to see more of these running at 100% capacity, because that's what you would hope if it's running at 480, is that they're all running at full capacity. Okay, so let's run over here. This doesn't seem to have anything going on. What's going on? All right. So this may never actually work. Well, while we're here, let's take a copy of this and run over here. Okay, so this is going to become the third design. Okay, the issue with the second design is we are pushing steam down the pipe straight out. So this consumes as much as it can, then it's pushed down the pipe, then comes the second row of boilers. It's 463, which is still on the up. But you know, this one isn't getting anything, presumably because all the steam is being pushed up this pipe. So the alternative is if we cut that and that there. Okay. Cut that, move that back. But not the substations. Okay, then we run a pipe down the outside. So there should be no steam that makes it into this pipe from these boilers. However, these boilers should have quite a lot of extra. Okay, so let's do that. All right. So I think I can take out the whole of the center of this. Let's take all of that, rotate it round, because the substations should map over. That's it. Then these currently have nothing going on, so let's boost them. Right, we'll come back to that in a minute. This one is 479, absolutely rock solid. So we know this design works. 475. So this design potentially works. These are starting to warm. Okay. No power is being produced yet, though. These have to hit 500 degrees centigrade to push power down. This at 500 to hit these at 500 to produce turbinable steam. .477. I mean, I shouldn't be quibbling between the difference between 477 and 479. They're both fine. These are still warming up. Oh, this takes like ages. Right, what's the next thing to do? So what I should be doing is making a world where we have like 50 of these tiled side by side. Yeah, and we should see how that works. All right. So how would we tile? So I'm going to ignore the... so this fits within one grid width, which is kind of cool. All right. So we head over here. Okay. And let's get rid of all this. Right, then let's grab it again. Okay. What have I done wrong there? Okay. Oh, we've got an overlap. Okay. Let's go into map mode. Okay. I actually don't know how many I can feed from one belt. It's got to be quite a lot. How many of these do I have now lined up? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Is that? One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 8. Okay, and this is the one where I put the filter splitter priority for spent cells. Take that out to avoid. So this combined thing should be able to produce quite a lot of power. So 4 megawatt, give or take. Slightly shy of 4. Okay, let's have a look. So this is now stably on 479. So we know this is a winner. This is 479. And this 452. And still on the up. Okay. So the question is, for a build that size, which is the most efficient? Okay, so we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 repeats of it. 8 repeats seems like a good number of repeats to me. All right. Before we go crazy, in creative mode, there's a cheats, surface cheats, I think. No, game settings, game speed. Okay, game speed 1000. All right, so it's not managing to simulate 1000 because it's managing to simulate about 10. All right. All right. Right, so let's trash that. Trash that. Trash that. All right. And this is 479 also. All right, so let's take that and that and that away. All right. I don't know the best way to destroy this is perhaps to probably just use a voider. There we are. Okay, so let's put a voider down there. Good, so they're drained. Right, so we have 500-ish frames. Sorry, UPS. All right. And then let's do the same thing here. Okay. So this will run out in a moment because there won't be any fuel. We need 5 minutes of game time for these things to run through. Alright. So what I'm going to do is feed fuel in here. There we are. And I'm going to jump start it with power. There we are. So all of these now have fuel cells, and because we've put the time up to ridiculously high, they are now ramping up. Great, and then we can put in the there. All right, so this whole thing is running. 3.8 gigawatts. Okay, and you can see our UPS is down at 200 and something. Okay, so this whole design here has burnt up 200 and something from whatever it was when we didn't have this. What I'm going to do is take a blueprint of this design here and put it there, because then I can delete this off the map. Okay. This is now out of power. Okay, so we're running at, it's taken maybe 100 UPS off at this multiplier to run this. Maybe more. Okay. So I'm going to take a blueprint of all of this. Put it there. Right, just to prove it's this build. So this is at 260-ish. Let's delete the whole of this. And look at that, that comes back up to right, that comes up to 1600. So the nuclear power is a massive UPS hog. So we are running at 1,600 UPS. Okay. And just to prove it, right, so 1,000, over 1,000 UPS. This is a single nuclear plant. So 1,400. This is going to produce those. We are going to consume those. And we will jumpstart the thing. And we will energy sink it. Okay. So that number was definitely up around the 1500s. I'm sorry about the slightly psychedelic backgrounds. The game isn't really made for moving at this speed. The cloud effects, which normally look fine, look really weird when they're either sped up or you're zoomed out. We have a bit of a problem here. We're missing one of the reactors. Okay, the UPS is down to 1,000. So we have lost arguably a third of it already. It's down below 900. Up to 1,000. All right. But just to prove that it's... So, UPS is currently hovering around the 1,000. If I delete the reactor, but leave the creative mode items, we're up at 1,500. Just double check. Come on, where are we? Ah! Difficult to move when you're moving this fast. Okay. So this is making sure that the matter creator and void are running at full speed. But this is up at 1415. Okay, so one nuclear plant has basically knocked off 1/3 of our game performance, which is horrific. Okay. Now that we know the figures, so turning on nuclear power plant naive takes us down from 1415 down to 1000. Right, this was nuclear power plant version 2. Let's fire this baby up, see how it affects UPS. Fluid source. Why do I even have fluid sources? Get rid of that. Matter source. Okay. So remember, we're looking. We have a baseline of 15. It went down to 10 with the other build. So if we can do less than 10, then it's a better build. Of course, it has to output full power. Okay, we may actually have an obvious improvement here. Let's check this is... Yeah, this is doing the full power. Okay, so this went down to under 10 with the first build. This one's doing 12, which is a massive improvement. I want to check this is real. So let's take a blueprint of this. So this appears to be better. Let's get rid of it. Okay, it may be an effect of having different things blueprinted into the world. All right. So this is now... Ah, okay. I think we have a background issue going on. All right, so let's fire this one up. We've got power supply here. We need a power void. We've got one here. That's good. And this is running at full power, near enough. All right. So we have that, Big Bertha, the second one, and this is the third one. Let's put that there. Right. So now we can compare the UPSs a bit more directly. So this is sitting at a UPS of 16,000. Let's call it 16,000. Yeah. Right. This is 16,000 with only this. Down from 42, 45, 45 to 16, 40 to 16. All right, so that was the one that was build 3. Build, where was it? Build 2. Build 2 on its own in the world is around the 15, 16, 16. Let's call it 16. $16,000. All right. And build 1, which is the simple stupid version. Let's make sure there's... Do I want fluid voids anymore? No, that can go away. Matter void there. Matter source there. Bump start. Vampire. Right. So this is 16 to 17. Down to 15, 16. Down to 14, 15, 16. So there's not a lot in it, but it went up to 17 and the other builds didn't do it. So the answer is, let's turn off this super speed because it's really annoying. Alright, so the bottom line is that this simple stupid build that has too many boilers, too many steam turbines, sorry, is the most efficient build in terms of game performance. So we could save some build materials, a very small number of steam turbines, but that doesn't save us game performance. And the second take home is that having loads of these is really horrendous. All right, let's check out that one last time. So we know that 16 is what you're aiming for. Let's put down this great big build. I hope nothing else standing on needed to be there. Okay, let's put down a bump starter. And we're going to go back to game speed crazy. Okay, off we go. What's going on here? Are they claiming they don't have power? There we go. Okay, so the UPS down here is down to 200 and something, 300 from over 1,000. So, yeah. So my take home from this is that while we have the existing fluid dynamic system, there is no way to build large-scale nuclear in a UPS efficient way. If the background is 25 on my machine, and with one unit is 15, we have 8 units, and we're down to 300. So nuclear, at least in its current form, is a band-aid to try and get you through bad times. But if you care about your computer running, it's not the way forward. All right, let's just drop down to gameplay 1. Okay, so in this case, I'm still doing a UPS of 60. Right, so if I was playing a game and I cared about whether my gameplay was impacted, then this build, which produces 3.8 gigawatt, would be absolutely fine because it in itself isn't hitting my UPS. But if I was doing a gigabase where I had just an unimaginable quantity of steam, of nuclear with steam, then I'd have to do something else, because at some point this would be the thing that took up all my game performance. Right, I'm going to leave it there. Thanks for watching the stream. Anyway, the take home is Steam is really UPS intensive, and this is the most efficient way to build a 4x4 uncontrolled reactor that I can find, that I can think of. If you can think of a better way, please link in the comments for this video with a better approach, which is more UPS efficient, and remembering that I do not care about storing steam. I do not care about complicated circuits. I do not care about only inserting fuel when the base is low on energy. I just want a dumb nuclear setup. So if you can find a better way to design a dumb nuclear setup, which produces the full 480 for the 4 reactors, or whatever the full X is for your X reactors, let me know, and we will see in another one of these broadcasts if it survives the UPS test. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you again soon. Bye bye.